Primary ignition.
My name is D-Rod, and I want to talk about my experience doing 6 pre-releases this weekend for Shadows of the Galaxy, Star Wars Unlimited's newest set. Um, First of all, I want to say, yeah, tired. Great time, a lot of fun time. We'll get into it, but this was something I just really wanted to do. I had a lot of credit at some different stores, so this was easily affordable to just kind of do something like this. And one of the things that we're really lucky about in the Northwest is having a lot of stores in the area to kind of cater different times and a large amount of people. If you're unfamiliar with what it looks like here in the Northwest, maybe you're just different parts of the country or the world. When you pull up the locator in the Portland area and you kind of do around 50 miles, honestly, or really like 30 within central Portland, you'll find about 21 stores in the area carrying product and hosting events. We have a great community here in the Northwest, so it's really great that stores are supporting it. A lot of people are playing it, and just having a variety of options. So the first kind of goals here to do these types of events, I was able to overcome pretty easily. Just as I said, credit made it affordable. Timing of it being a holiday weekend as well helped me to go to an event at noon on Friday. And I essentially went to 2 events every day. And it felt like I was at work. In the sense I was just the amount of time I was spending. But it was great. Met a lot of great people and wanted to talk more about that experience. So let's just dive in with the first store, Batcave Games, on Friday. So Batcave Games, being one of the first stores I got to attend this weekend, was really great. Batcave is a staple in the Vancouver, Washington community, which is just a suburb pretty much of Portland, just really across the river with 2 bridges going over that direction. And they happen to be hosting an event on Friday of July 5th, just at noon. So it really worked out to go there for a best of one, knowing that I could fit that in with a couple of other events throughout the weekend. Happy to go to that. And we filmed there a lot, so it was great to just bring in some different type of equipment and try some stuff here for the pre-release. Now, I was super excited to just start opening these packs. As you can see, all the cards we're getting here, just super fun going through them, the hyperspaces, the foils. We've already seen a couple of strong leaders here in the set get opened, and I was just so excited to get my hands on some of these cards. Loving cards like this, the Ray Showcase that I want to have in my collection, and just here we are. Look at that Fenrir. Wow. And I gotta start building cards or building a deck out of this soon. As we're at this event, and I was just excited to be here. A lot of the locals, a lot of people that I play pretty regularly were able to show up. We had a small 16-player cap, and it was just, a great, awesome, even intimate experience with everyone. And so definitely something I look forward to in the future with just more pre-releases. But man, the first one, right? First one is set 2. And it's not to say the games felt stale, but it definitely just feels refreshing getting these cards finally in our hands and knowing we can build something fun and do something great with it, right? You already seen Fenrir and Ray and Gar Saxon and Cad Bane. There's Boba. So I ended up going Cad Bane Red for the first tournament, and this worked out really well. I had about 19 Underworld cards, 18 of them were units, so I felt really confident going into this. Some of the non-Underworld units I played were like Clan Challengers, Toro Calican, disabling Fang Fighter to help deal with upgrades that maybe were giving me some trouble. And it was just solid. This was fun. The Cad Bane ability really made sense as far as just slowly damaging my opponent. All their units just weren't staying in play. As you can see, I had a good amount of ambush cards with things like Chain Code Collector and Cloud Rider. Those were just super strong cards that could come out and take out 1 or 2 units, depending on where their health was at, due to things like Cad Bane. And I just had so much fun playing this. I also loved like using the land speeder, right? Giving it to my opponent when they only had one unit, then playing another underworld unit, triggering enter Cad Bane's ability, just doing fun things like that to start defeating my opponent. Things went really well here, but I did end up going and playing the mirror 3 times. Even though this was a best of 1 series, the first game was Cad Bane Red, and it was just about speed and who had the better units, and I flew through them. Second opponent, same thing, Cad Bane Red, and it was just, again, just who was going first, who could outpace, and I think it was a lot of the having the ambush mechanic with 2 chain code collectors, as well as using the smuggler's pirate ship as well, just giving things a negative attack when I swing into them. And I definitely don't want to overlook some strong cards like the detention block rescue or desperate raid card. Just cards that can deal direct damage were super solid. I just had a lot of fun. The third match was also against a Cad Red deck. The difference there was they did splash in their Maul that they would pay 9 for that ambush, but unfortunately it just wasn't enough to get the job done, and I just walked away super happy with a lot of packs. Definitely enjoyed my time at Batcave. Going to Guardian Games is always such a treat for me. One of the oldest and largest stores in the Portland area. This place is just, this is where you go. This is where you should at least check out, whether you're visiting the city or you're a local who just hasn't been here yet. This is the place to go. Check out that mall, right? First mall, finally got that. But they were throwing events on in the evenings. This event started around 6. It was going to be best of 3, and so it was definitely going to be a long night. I don't remember when I got out of there, except that it was after 10. And you can kind of tell really quickly, besides that mall, I'm not seeing any other big hitters here. Loved getting the Han. There's a Rifles Fall. But there are a lot of cards here I really wanted to just see more consistency with. I just felt like all my aspects were a little bit light, and here we are going in like the pack 3, and there's Hondo, some light red, some light green, and some blue, but there isn't anything that's like a super heavy hitter here. There could have been some options I could have gone down, but it just felt like everything was at the same amount of the power level, and I needed to make some decisions. I felt like because I had some surprise strikes and a Falcon, I really wanted to go to the yellow direction. So let's go ahead and take a look at what I built. In this build, I really wanted to focus on Mando. I just wasn't really sure what else was going to get me there. I'm looking at cards like Lando or Han. I thought, well, here you have the Falcon, and ambushing in the Falcon is pretty good. Playing it with the smuggle costs for less with Lando seems good. Playing it with Han would have been good. And in hindsight, that probably would have been the better direction. But I really wanted some stability here, and I just didn't get it. I didn't run into many like crazy matchups where I felt like it was dominating me, or that I was dominating my opponent. It really felt like everything was just kind of slow matches, a couple of pings here. I ended up playing a little bit more defensively than I think I should have. And it just didn't go in my favor. So first match was Cad Bane Red. I actually did beat Cad Bane Red. I think I just had enough bodies in play with some health to have some fun. But that was really it. Game 2, I went up against a Boba Red deck, and they just kind of had everything right there, ready to go, swinging into my units left and right with all their mechanics. It was just, really wasn't anything I can do. And then going to game 3, it was a Rey green deck. Now this felt a little bit more on par with my level, just because both Rey and Mando were slow decks. They were both playing the blue build, and it was really kind of a back and forth between some low hitting units with high health. Ultimately, the Rey deck got me, which was fine, and I just went home and took my winnings and went from there. to attending Portland Game Store was definitely just going to be the refresher I needed. Starting out and getting Cad Bane, Guavian, Antagonizer, already seeing Bounty Hunter, Enfys Nest, a Rancor, my first legendary, Kylo Ren in pack 1. I am psyched. I'm probably already committed to Cad Bane at this point, but we have 5 other packs to go. Here comes Fennec, Underground Use It, Desperate Attack, Street Gang, a Recruiter, Criminal Muscle, Frozen in Carbonite. Like, I'm already seeing the pieces I want to play. I like the Underworld units. I like Cad Bane. Hondo, I don't like so much. Here's Rivals Fall. We saw another Surprise Strike. We saw a Cloud Rider. We saw just a couple other really strong units in this set so far. The Ambush unit with 5/5, that was a reprint. Here's Maklanuke again, and a Hunt foil card. I'm ready to go. Here comes Finn, and we have Ray. Now, if I got some solid, more like up with. Now, Portland Game Store was definitely a fun time. I went Cad Bane Red again, threw in the Spice Mines because, let's start looking at some of these Underworld units. We had Criminal Muscle. I'm going to be able to take care of upgrades and just bounce them to opponent's hand. Card like that with Frozen and Carbonite, I definitely used that a few times to just exhaust one of my opponent's units, play Criminal Muscle, trigger Cad Bane's ability to deal damage to a unit of their choice, then play Frozen and Carbonite again on a different unit that was more threatening than the one I exhausted previously. And this really helped me get out of some jams. I was able to hold off my opponent for a good amount of time until Enfys Nest or Fennec came out to just do the heavy hitting. 2 Street Gang recruiters with 1 Maklanuke was great. I was constantly being able to play the recruiter, grab the Klanuke back to my hand if I didn't use it already, and repeat this little combo. I had a really good time playing this. I threw Cad Bane in there just for fun. I wanted to use him, but it really just never happened, I think. The first match, I actually went against a Gideon Blue, and that just really had nothing on me. I had a fun time with that. I say that, but I guess I remember it was a little bit tough, but it definitely went in my favor. Then we got to Gideon Red. This was one of those matches I just felt a little bit bad about. I got everything I needed early on. By the time they got their Han Solo online, I pretty much had them just locked out. Most of their units were damaged, have taken damage. I had their board pretty much destroyed, and their base has already taken 10 points of damage at this point. This game went so fast in the best 2 out of 3 that we were done in under 10 minutes. It was just that fast. But it was a good time. I really enjoyed the opponent. He understood that it was just like I had all the answers. I had everything at the right time. And because Cad Bane was just there to kill all of his small units that he was really trying to make work with Han, it just wasn't going to happen. The ambush took care of anything that was too big. Cad Bane's abilities were pretty solid, and getting his ship out was just kind of overkill every time. My final match was against a Fennec Red. So this was, pretty much almost a mirror match at this point. Fennec was able to just drop units out early, and game one was just taken by surprise. He destroyed me really quickly. At this point, I was like, wow, I think this is karma. Game 2 in the 3rd round, he got me all the way to 27 damage out of my 30 point base there, and I stabilized, took out all of his units. At this point, he was just behind. Every unit he put out, I could take care of because I had Cad Bane in play, I had Enfys Nest in play, I had Fennec in play, I had Underworld Recruiter and Bouncing Maklanuke. If he couldn't put 2 units out on the same turn that could survive, the game was mine. And it did end up going to me. Game 3, this is where it got tense. I really appreciated this game with the opponent. Game 3, it was very similar to Game 1, where he just came out from the start swinging. I was trying to stabilize using Cat Bane's ability, taking care of units every time I could. I just had to trade or kill as many of them as I could. I stabilized with 7 health remaining, started putting the pressure back on him, and unfortunately just got to the point where he did have a couple of stronger answers with the ambush ability to just trade out into my bigger units. I wasn't getting enough units on board. It got really close. Like I said, he needed 7 more points of damage. And then I was able to get him past the 20 health line. And then afterwards, he just got there. It was a really great game. Really, really fun. Just one of those like tense situations of, every card mattered, every play mattered. And I was just excited again to get some packs, take some winnings, pack per win, and go on to the next event. Night 2 at Guardian Games. This time we're not doing the opening of the packs, just having a little bit of trouble with some of the equipment. But overall, I didn't do so well. I don't know what it is. Maybe it was just the longer days of traveling throughout Portland, and or maybe it's just the pool. This time, can't really show you the pool, but I ended up going Gar, Saxon, Green, and I really didn't feel like I had much here to go off of. I know Gar Saxon, you're going to want to have friendly upgraded units so you can get the bonus, and there's a lot of things Gar Saxon can run into that can really destroy him. For me, there wasn't many directions I could go, and in hindsight, I just couldn't think of anything else to do. I was really excited to get Palpatine's return and Darth Maul, though. I thought that was going to be fun, and I just wanted to kind of try that out, especially to just get a feel for it. It's there. How many times are you going to be able to do that in a limited format? Draft, it's going to be really difficult, so why not just try it? Game 1, I ended up going up against a Bosk Yellow. Now, this was a great experience. I did end up losing to Bosk Yellow. The opponent was really great guy. I believe their name was Anthony, and just really enjoyed playing and meeting them for the first time. Newer player, found the game 4 weeks ago in limited formats at Guardian Games, and just really fell in love with it. We sat down. He let me know he was a little bit late, and he showed me that he actually got the Bosk Hyperspace card. And he just didn't want to play it because he didn't want to ding it or anything like that. But he was playing Bosk. And afterwards, I was like, man, you have to play it because you had all the right answers. He had so many great upgrades and bounties. He was able to just trigger Bosk's ability multiple times, really flooding the board. I just did not have answers for him. Going into game 2, though, I did get the win against the Cad Bane green deck. So I knew how to pilot against Cad. I've played against him enough times with Cad, so I really was pretty confident here going into this match here for night 2. This event at least started a little bit earlier, so it wasn't as bad, but it was definitely just very much a slower paced match because I just needed to let Cad Bane run out of steam and then overwhelm him with some of these bigger units. And using Maul multiple times in the game was obviously super helpful. They really didn't see it coming, and every time just getting that ambush and overwhelm. Next turn, playing him again with Palpatine's return. That seemed to just be what happened almost every game. My final match was against Han Yellow, and this one, it was fun. It was great. I had a really good time. This was just one of those matches where the opponent was really new, and at this point in the night, I just really wanted to help him out a little bit more. And so we talked a bit. We walked through some of his plays. There were definitely some plays I wanted him to take a step back and see how good Han was, because he just had a lot of the right stuff to play. He had the Crate Dragon. He was playing some things really well, and I just wanted to point out some of the things he could be doing better as we played, and he really did. I had so much fun playing again, another new player. I believe they told me they just started playing that week or 2 weeks prior, so meeting a lot of new people. This was just a great time, and this just closed the night for my Saturday evening. Back at Portland Game Store Sunday morning, I'm refreshed and you can just tell I was ready to go. Han Solo green. And I had a great time. Now, again, just equipment wasn't helping us see the full pool, but here we go. I made the best decision possible. I went 2-1 at the Portland Game Store that day, best of 3, and we just had a great time. I was able to get 2 of outflank, making sure, I was going to keep the pressure on my opponent to move quick. Got that Desperado freighter, and man, did that feel good. When you can play that 5 cost unit a turn earlier with a 5-6 health, it is just the pressure's on. You can tell I just kind of had a lot of the right stuff here. Some strong duplicates with the House Clan soldiers, the Bo-Katans, and getting the clan card with the Mandalorian. I was just doing everything I needed to do here. Covetous Rivals. I just had all the answers that you needed, and it was just going through my opponents here with some strong cards. The Adelphi, the Marauder, Wrecker, General Riken. There were just things I was doing that I think you can only do in sealed play, right? In limited play. So I had a great time going into this tournament here. The first round was against a Jabba yellow deck, and it was just one of those games where the opponent was learning some of Jabba. I knew I was going to move faster with them, but I really wanted to take some time, help them have some fun, and we did. We had a great time, and I was just able to just always get my damage over the board, no problem, just because Han was just going to move much faster than Jabba the Hutt in so many ways. Game 2 was against Cad Green, and I always loved playing this opponent. Round 2 was a great time. I had all the right answers. They kind of knew I had the answers. I know how to pivot around Cad where I need to, and just know when to put units out, and making sure I was keeping 2 units in play. One of the things I was able to get out was that Desperado freighter really quick, and they had the Frozen and Carbonite to answer that. They were really worried about it, and I thought that's fine. I'm a turn early. I'm before Cad Bane can comes out. The freighter can take all the damage from Cad Bane abilities, and it did. I was just putting more units out, as many as I could, knowing that I could take advantage of this moment of the freighter being killed by Cad Bane's ability, flood the board, and then come back to him with some big units. Being able to use the timely reinforcements on Wrecker was definitely my goal throughout the whole day. And it happened several times. Riken was there, just making sure to give himself Sentinel to pull my opponent away from my base, really keep the pressure off of that, keep my health high, as well as keep my other units that were more damaged, that were stronger, alive, which is one of the things I really wanted to do. Game 3, though, I went up against a Han yellow deck, and it was pretty crazy. At the top tables, out of the 8 players there, 7 of them were playing Han, or not 7, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 of them were playing Han Solo, so 3 players were not. So there was a lot of Han, a lot of quick matches, and for Han Green versus Han Yellow, it really came down to initiative. Who was going first? Who had the units out? And that's really what it was for us. We had very similar decks, and he got me every time. We were done so quick, but we had a lot of fun. It was great. Pack per win. Always enjoy my time at Portland Game Store, especially when I'm walking away with these type of win records. And that wraps up my pre-release weekend. What an experience it was. Now, I did go to a 6th pre-release over at Wayward City Games. It just happened to be one of the things I could still make, but I wasn't really sure if I was going to be able to attend it the whole time. So I sat down, got my pre-release pack, chatted up with some people, built a quick deck, played one round, heard someone dropped, and I decided to drop as well, so that way no one had to have the buy. I wasn't really excited about that deck. No reason really to highlight it here. It was definitely a mix mash of stuff. But, shout out to all the stores that hosted this weekend in the area, especially the ones that were I was able to attend, like Guardian Games, Portland Game Store, Wayward City Games, and Batcave Games. All great places. Really excited for the next set and what it looks like for our community up here in Portland. Shout out to all the people I got to spend time with and chatting, whether you're locals or you're people that I only see at some of these bigger events in the area, even some of the content creators that I got to to see and some have conversations with again as we catch up, like the Force Unlimited or Rebel Trader. Always great to see people as we're just sitting down playing cards, chatting it up, and seeing the growth of this game. So, as we go into the release of Shadows of the Galaxy, I wish you luck. I hope you're excited. I hope you get some great cards from your local game store or delivered to you in the mail, and just enjoy it and have fun, and may the Force be with you.